Peace, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. I'm so grateful that you are here with me as we take a dive back into the Four Agreements Companion book by Miguel Ruiz. We last left off on page 47, chapter 2, the beginning of the power of the word. So go ahead and take a second to get there. Excuse me. In the first chapters, we really just took a second to kind of identify and really relate with what we have been taught and told and believe our whole childhood, the things that we have been conditioned to believe is true about ourselves, about others, and more so just trying to reestablish a new set of beliefs and just starting to reconstruct those ideas. So we're going to pick up right at, like I said, page 47, the power of the word. Humans are creators, but our power of creation is invested in our beliefs. Through the word, you express your creative power. It is through the word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the word. Our power of creation is the word. The word is the most powerful tool that humans possess. It is the tool of magic. The word creates the light, and because light is the human messenger of life, the word is life, or God. The Gospel of John in the Bible expresses the power of the word quite clearly. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word is God. Regardless of the language we speak, our intent manifests through the word. Through the word we manifest everything. We will express our will, our intent, our love, and our faith, which are all the same thing. Let's consider what it means to have faith. Whoever masters faith masters the dream. Why? Because faith is the impeccability of the word. To have faith is to believe 100% without doubt. Faith is how the word is manifested. It is how we guide our intent. To have great faith is to have great power because our intent, our will, is undivided. When our word isn't dissipated by doubt, the power of our word is even stronger. The great leaders of humanity have a lot of personal power because they have great faith. But their faith comes from the heart, not the head. Their faith comes from love instead of fear, and from wisdom instead of knowledge. The kind of faith that comes from the head is blind faith because it comes from knowledge, from false beliefs, from fear. Blind faith is a faith that leads to fanaticism and dogmatism, which explains all the religious wars, all the fear that people don't believe what we believe. Blind faith is a faith that we have to defend and impose on other people in order to feel validated and safe. Humans are powerful creators. We are born with all the universe, and everything we create is based on faith. That faith is really our personal power, but what has happened with our faith? We invest all our faith in our beliefs and agreements, and we are left with little power to change our lives. Imagine that every day is just like a brick. Humans create an entire structure out of bricks, and we glue it together with our faith. We believe without a doubt in all the knowledge inside that structure. Our faith gets trapped inside that structure because we put our faith in each agreement. It is not important if it is true or isn't true. We believe it, and for us, it is true. All of our power of creation is invested in our belief, and because we believe it, that's the way it is. If we believe our knowledge, whatever we perceive will be. Filter to make it fit into that knowledge. I'm going to go back and reread that sentence. If we believe our knowledge, whatever we perceive will be. Filter to make it fit into that knowledge. We create a personal dream that justifies the knowledge, and the outside dream proves to us that what we believe is true. The outside dream reflects our personal dream. It will justify every belief. During the education we receive, which means during all the education we receive, which means all the knowledge that is programmed in our mind, we create the concept of the I am. Everything we believe we are, everything we know about how to be human is the I am. The Toltec called this the human form. We are not talking about the physical body, but about our own dream. When we say, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a human, and this is my whole reality, everything is judged by that knowledge. And of course, the dream becomes hell. That is the drama of humanity. The dream of our life is so limited because we take all the power out of our creation and put it into a little box. And with all our power, we seal that box. And we live inside this little box, trapped inside that little box. Well, that little box is the human form. It is our creation, and all our will is invested in that I am. Your faith is so strong that when you believe, I am never going to be this, thy will be done. You are never going to be that. If you believe, I cannot do it, thy will be done. You cannot do it. Whatever you believe, you put your faith in that belief, and your faith will make it true. The power of our word is behind every agreement we make. To break an agreement, we need to have at least the same amount of power we use to make the agreement. But we find that we no longer have enough power to break an agreement just because we decide to. The classic example of this agreement to smoke. Our reasoning mind can understand that it is not good for us to smoke, and we decide not to smoke anymore. Our mind says, I will not smoke anymore because it's not good for me. Then we open the package, light a cigarette, and keep smoking. We don't want to smoke, and we try not to smoke, but we still smoke. The temptation to smoke is stronger than our will. Or we can say our will and faith are not strong enough yet to keep the word. Why don't we have enough power to break our agreements? Imagine that we have 100 units of power, and we put 4 units of power into that agreement to smoke. In theory, we need at least 4 units of power to break this agreement. But the problem is that the other 96 units of power are already being used to keep all the agreements of our whole reality alive. That day we decide not to smoke anymore, we don't have enough power to change the agreement. All of our power has been taken. What happened to the other 96 units of power? Let's look at the way we spend energy. In the 4 agreements, we talked about this example. Imagine you awake one morning with a lot of energy. You can hardly wait to do a lot of things. You go to eat your breakfast, and for whatever reason, you have a big fight with your spouse. All these angry words are said. All these painful emotions come out. And after the fight, all you wanted to do was go to bed and sleep. The fight drains all your energy. To save energy, you need to change your routines. Change the agreements and no longer react with these emotions. If your spouse wants to fight and you don't fight, then you still have that energy. You just eat your breakfast quickly and leave the room. It's up to you whether you will allow yourself to spend all your energy on your emotions. You don't have to be the victim of your emotions. The emotions that drain you are the emotions that come from fear. The emotions that give you more energy are the emotions that come from love. Most people spend all their energy on personal importance and defending their image, on defending their personal opinions or what they believe. They spend a lot of energy trying to be right and making everybody else wrong. This nonsense behavior is funny when you see it from the outside, but it becomes a big drama when you're in the middle of it. The drama drains our energy. To believe what we believe, to keep all these agreements alive, we have no energy left. Our power of creation, the word, is dissipated by the big mitote in our mind by all the conflicting agreements we create. The result is that we feel powerless. As we have said, the book of law, even though it isn't physical, creates a strong and rigid structure made by agreements, and we call it a belief system. From a single letter to a whole ideology, everything we believe goes into that structure, and it is almost as rigid as our physical body. The agreements we make control our whole dream, and that structure is so strong that it looks like it's impossible to break. Well, what happens if we start taking bricks from that structure? At a certain point, the whole edifice will collapse. And that is exactly what happens when we practice the 4 agreements. The book of law starts falling apart little by little, and at a certain point, it is no longer strong enough to control the dream of our life. The belief structure collapses and we lose the human for I am. When that happens, the dream of our life looks like chaos. It looks like chaos because it is chaos. When we lose the human form, the old order no longer exists. The old dream doesn't govern our life anymore. Our emotions get stronger, the poison starts coming out, and it is a great opportunity for cleansing. Even though it is chaos, we now have a chance to rewrite the book of law and create new agreements with knowledge. If we keep practicing the 4 agreements, we are going to break all those agreements we created for ourselves and those images that we projected onto us by our mother and father and our brothers and sisters and friends and society and everybody. Of course, for years we have practiced all those images. We create attachments, and those attachments come from faith. We are so attached to our images, to our beliefs, that if something challenges our beliefs or takes them away from us, it hurts. And because it hurts, even if those beliefs create a life of drama, emotional pain, we resist of change. That is why breaking the belief structure and losing the human form should be gradual, not fast. In certain cases, it can happen fast, but to take off your social mask and lose your images can create a strong emotional reaction. In the end, of course, the truth will set you free, but the truth is painful to discover because most of your attachments and resistance to life are not based on truth, but lies. Losing the human form can be emotionally painful because you're going against your own beliefs. The judge and the victim know you very well and will use anything they can to go against you. If you have a strong desire to change your book of law, it is going to happen, but you cannot expect the change to come without crisis. You are breaking your beliefs, your awareness is expanding, and you are learning to dream in your own way. You have to go step by step. You cannot expect the transformation to happen from one moment to another. In theory, of course, anything is possible. Maybe it is possible to jump from elementary school to college, but you cannot expect that at all. If you lose the human form, then even more things are possible. As you break all those beliefs that tell you what isn't possible, incredible things start happening to you because you don't limit yourself anymore. Even though you are different, people assume you are the same. They hardly notice that change unless you express yourself. At a certain point, you no longer play their game. You don't take on their addictions and you don't join in on their gossiping. You no longer care so much about their drama, about their anger, about their jealousy, because you know that they are dreaming. And you know they don't mean it when they tell you something unkind. You love and respect yourself so much that you don't allow people to disrespect you. You put boundaries on their wounds, not because you want to avoid them, but because you don't allow that poison to come to you. You don't judge other people because you don't accept their poison, because accepting their poison is going against yourself. Once you lose the human form, you find out that you don't know what you are, and you no longer care about what you are. When breaking the image of what it means to be human, you are no better than a rock. But then nobody is better than you either. In this society, to be human means to be at the top of evolution on this planet, to be superior to other kinds of life in this world, to be superior to dogs, cats, plants, rocks. But when you reach a certain level of awareness in your mind, you are no longer human from that point of view. To be human is no longer important because you see life from a whole new perspective. You are the same as everything else that exists in the universe, and you come from that same source. You are made of the same light. And if you are no better, if you are no better than anyone, and no one is better than you, then where is personal importance? The mastery of transformation is the process of unlearning what you have already learned. If you learn by making agreements, you unlearn by breaking agreements. When you unlearn that knowledge is no longer in your mind, if that knowledge is no longer in your mind, the voice of knowledge, the parasite, is no longer in your mind either. And that's where we're going to stop. We ended up on page 58. That was the last bit. We'll start on page 59. I think that was pretty doggone amazing. Yeah, I'm going to take a second and just reflect on that. I think that was a lot of beautiful stuff. And if you enjoyed this, make sure that you definitely come back next Sunday for the next 10 pages. And go back and reread that in silence maybe, and just think about what was just said, because I know I'm going to go back and reread it again, because a couple things hit me a couple times every time I read it. So yeah, hope y'all have a beautiful evening. Get some of this sunlight out here. As y'all see, she's calling me, he's calling me, so I gotta go. Peace.